Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to do this video today because I'm talking about a new complexion product to me. And not only is it a new complexion product to me, but it's one that I have been using a lot lately, trying out in many different ways and find very interesting. And that is the ISDIN Skin Drops. This little baby bottle, which I find so incredibly cute. And this is, let me see how big this is. This is half an ounce. Okay, so it's not the typical 1 ounce foundation that you get. Now, ISDIN is a skincare company. I have not tried any of their skincare other than their SPF, which I have sung its praises since I started using it last year. And it is absolutely fabulous. It's what I have on my skin right now. I love it so much, but I have heard really good things about their skincare otherwise. But when I saw these skin drops, I was like, that's definitely what I want to try next because it's a skincare company that does makeup. And I'm always very intrigued when that happens because sometimes it can go really, really bad and sometimes it can go really, really good. So this claims to be a foundation that will give you a smooth and matte complexion for up to 12 hours of wear. It also says with just a few drops that it conceals skin imperfections such as vitiligo, discoloration, varicose veins, bruising, scars, burns, and tattoos, which makes more sense that something like this is coming from a skincare company when they are marketing it to cover these issues. It says buildable coverage, long lasting, smooth finish with just a few drops. And I think that's why they put it in such a small container. Well, that and plus they can obviously sell less product for more money, but you just don't need as much as you would with a traditional foundation where you would use 1 to 2 pumps. You're using like 2, maybe 3 drops depending on how you are using this. So when I first got it, oh, let me talk about the colors. They only come in 2 colors. I got sand, which is the lightest color, and then they also have bronze. I have not seen bronze. I haven't even seen bronze swatched, so I can't tell you what that's like. I do wish they had more color options because this one is not gonna work for super, super fair complexions, in my opinion. But I do think it will work for light complexions, and you'll see as I go into the demo. Now, I am not going to demo this as a foundation on its own. And I'm going to tell you why. I have tried it on its own, and then I have tried it as a mix-in with 5 other products. So I have given this a good run. I've used it at least 8 times. I'm going to show you the coverage that it has on its own on my hand so that you can see the coverage by itself. But I want to show you how I choose to wear it and how I have been loving it lately. So let me go ahead and swatch it on my hand so you can see. Now, when I use this by itself, it's a velvet matte. It is not a flat matte. It's more like a satin matte finish, in my opinion. It does last a very long time. I don't know if that day I had it on quite 12 hours, but it looked like it could hold up for that long, if not more. And I did use more than 2 drops when I used it on its own. I want to say I probably used like 4 or 5 for my face and my neck. Now, this is a drop of sand. Okay, so I'm going to blend that out. It's almost the consistency of a serum foundation, but I find that it blends out even better than that. So you can see how easy it blends out. And see what I mean when it's not flat. Like I can see a little bit of a skin-like finish, but it is not dewy by any means. I feel like in my demo, I'm going to show you the best of both worlds because I'm going to use it mixed with something and then I'm going to use it by itself. So I really prefer to use this mixed in with something because I'm someone that doesn't like super, super duper full coverage. And today I'm going to mix it in with face tint. This is the Chantecaille Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you all about the other things that I mixed it with and give you my thoughts on that. So I'm just going to take out, let's see, probably that much of the face tint. And then I'm going to take the drops and I'm going to add 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to mix it together and I'm going to apply this like a moisturizer. But you can see how those face drop or skin drops gave quite a bit of color to that cream. So just like I would a regular moisturizer, a tinted moisturizer, I'm going to apply that all over and you can see it's definitely not matte, but it did add a little bit of coverage. I would say a light, maybe even on the side of light medium coverage. I am perfectly fine with this amount of coverage. My face feels really moisturized because of this. It has a little bit of glow because of this, but it has coverage because of this. I do maybe have a little bit of redness peeking through on my cheeks. I think you can see it more over here. So this is when I will take one drop on my finger and I'm gonna put it where I have the most amount of redness. Kind of just lightly tap it on, and then I'll take a brush. You can use your fingers, you don't have to use a brush. And I will stipple it into that area. I don't need all that coverage everywhere else. So I'm really just gonna concentrate it. I've been getting red right here. I have no idea why. So concentrate it on the areas where I maybe am a little more red. And maybe just a half a drop. I probably could have gotten away with a half a drop on my other cheek too, but I don't feel like I'm as red on this side. But see, just pressing it in just to give that little bit more coverage. So if I would have used half a drop on each side and 3 drops, that's 4 drops. That's for me personally. If you don't want that extra coverage, if you don't have redness poking through or anything like that, you don't have to use it like as a second layer, but I did want to show you how it builds up on itself. I like this amount of luminosity. It's going to go down a little bit when I add powder onto my face, but it'll start to come through as the day goes on. See how pretty of a finish, and it doesn't look cakey on the areas where I added more coverage. It just looks like well moisturized, well hydrated skin. So I'm gonna finish up my makeup and I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna talk about the other things that I mixed it with. I'm gonna talk about who I think this is good for and my final thoughts. So I will be right back. Okay, back with my full face of makeup on. I will have everything I used down below in the description box. But let me tell you some of the things that I chose to mix it with. And you won't be surprised to see that all of these are very light coverage products because there's no sense in adding more coverage to something that's medium or full in my. So we've already talked about the Chantecaille face tint. The next day when I tried it out, I mixed it with my beloved Jane Iredale Hydra Pure Tinted Serum. I just want to call it Liquid Minerals because that's what it used to be. And it was great. It mixed in very well with it. I didn't have trouble with it mixing in with any of these things. So I won't be redundant in saying that with every product. But it did mix in very well, and it did add that just little bit of extra coverage because I do find that this new reformulated one has a little teensy bit less coverage than the Liquid Minerals, at least for me. So having the option to add a little bit more in kind of brings it back to the original one for me. And it was great. I used the Aeropress powder on top of all of these when I was testing them out, as I have on my skin today, and it worked fabulous. The next day, I used something that a lot of people compare to the Hydra Tint, but the Chanel Le Beige Touche de Tint. And it is their basically a little bit amped up version of their fresh water tint or water fresh tint, where it has the same kind of concept of like a gel base with the little pigment beads in it. Very, very sheer to light coverage on my skin. And I really liked the effect that the ISDIN drops had on this particular product. I'm looking because I did a video last week and I got a lot of comments about my makeup that day. And it was the day that I was using this with the ISDIN drops mixed in with it. Then the next day I used my Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. Now let me go ahead and tell you right now, if you use this as your SPF, do not mix anything in with it, okay? I would only suggest mixing the ISDIN drops in with it if you are using it as your foundation and you already have an SPF underneath it, because mixing in something with a sunscreen that is not also the same sunscreen filters, meaning like mixing a physical only sunscreen with another physical only sunscreen, if you do something other than that, it will compromise the protection that's in the SPF. So I do not recommend doing that. However, I don't use this as my SPF. I only use it as a foundation product. So it worked great for me. This is very, very dewy and very, very, very sheer to light coverage. And I found that I really like mixing the drops in with this because it takes the dew down just a little bit, because sometimes this is a little bit too much for me. But adding in the matte drops really helped that, while also adding more coverage. Never had any issues that day. Really liked it then as well. And then finally, I used my By Terry Brightening CC Serum, and this is in the Sunny Flash. And I did not obviously add this to add a different color because this is darker than that. But I have never used this as my only, at least not to my knowledge, my only kind of base product. I might use it underneath another foundation, but I thought, I wonder what it would be like if I used an actual skin tone product in with it. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure I've mixed it with foundations before. I don't know. But I mixed it in with this and I really liked it. It was a very like tan, summery look without looking like I put self-tanner all over my face. So that is the final product that I mixed it with. And again, I also used it by itself. For me personally, because I do like a little bit more luminosity, I do prefer mixing it than using it by itself. And because I don't have a ton that I need coverage for. Now, who do I think this is good for? I really think it's good for anybody that wants to try it out, but there are a couple of scenarios where I feel like it's gonna work best. One, you want something that is more skincare based from a skincare company and you want full coverage. You wanna use it by itself. You feel like you have more to cover up. This is gonna be something good to try. Two, maybe you're a tint and moisturizer person and that's all you wear. But on the occasion, if you're going out at night or you're going to dinner, or maybe you have something you want to do during the day that you feel like you need a little bit more coverage for, this is going to be a great product to add into your existing tinted moisturizer to amp up the coverage and act more as a foundation. And then finally, if you are like a light to medium coverage and maybe you have the occasional breakout and don't like using concealer on the breakout, because a lot of times concealer can start to look cakey. It can maybe bring more attention to the breakout than if you hadn't covered it at all. And this I feel like would be a great product for that in the case that you really just have a couple spots that you need to tiny pinpoint coverage and touch up. This is going to be a great product because it does have such good coverage and so thin that when you apply it over a breakout, it's not going to cake up. I personally love these. I think they are great. I think it's a great concept. I'm so glad I got them. One more thing I want to say is that ISDIN products tend to have added fragrance in them. This product does not. So if you're someone who does not like fragrance, you're not going to have to worry about it being in this particular product. So I'm going to have everything listed and linked below. I got these from Freeze Co Beauty, where I do have a discount code that will get you 20% off, which is definitely going to help. And I'll have all that information below. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.